After spending 20 minutes exploring, Ian arrived at an imposing pair of large double doors, their polished surface gleaming under the soft ambient light of the hallway. He paused, studying the sleek electronic doorknob that glinted like a jewel. Would it unlock in the same way as the door he had just passed through? It should, he mused, if his assessment of it being a biosignature lock was accurate. With a mix of anticipation and curiosity, he pressed his thumb against the sensor. To his relief, the door clicked open, and he swung both doors inward with a flourish, stepping into the room beyond. Before him lay another set of double doors, flanked by hallways that branched off to the left and right. The right hallway beckoned with the promise of a large bathroom, but his instincts urged him to explore the left. As he rounded the corner, the space opened up into a spacious bedroom, the opulence of its interior nearly taking his breath away. Plush furnishings adorned the room, and the soft hues of the decor created an atmosphere of warmth and comfort. However, his admiration was quickly interrupted when he spotted Khadijah standing at a tall window on the far side of the room. She gazed out toward the sprawling grounds of the mansion, her silhouette framed by the soft light streaming through the glass. As if sensing his presence, she turned, her face breaking into a broad, inviting smile that lit up the room. "Did you get lost or something? I know this is a very big house, but it's only been a month since you've been away," she teased, her voice carrying a playful lilt. "I was taking a look around to refamiliarize myself with the place. I didn't think you would come up so soon," he replied, making his way toward her. "I hope you didn't find a mess. We gave Mr. Bradley, Chef Rodriguez, and the rest of the house staff the weekend off. My mother said Chef Rodriguez couldn't cook jollof rice very well anyway." She laughed, her eyes sparkling with mischief. "She and my aunts have been here all week. The staff needed a break from them." Ian chuckled and pulled her into a tight embrace. "That's okay. I missed you very much," he whispered, feeling the warmth of her body against his. "I missed you very much too," Khadijah replied, easing away to meet his gaze. She leaned in, capturing his lips in a passionate kiss before resting her head against his shoulder. "I didn't make it to the kitchen, but I brought you a bottle of orange juice from the bar," she murmured softly. "That's all right. Sorry for last night. I was just so excited to see you and Kim that I got carried away," Ian admitted, a hint of embarrassment coloring his cheeks. "And drunk too," Khadijah laughed, her eyes twinkling at the memory. "I thought you left because you were mad at me. Even just a few minutes ago downstairs you seemed very cold," he said, concern creeping into his voice. "You were embarrassing me in front of my uncle. Too much affection in front of our elders is a sign of disrespect in my culture, remember?" she replied, her tone playful yet serious. "Okay, I'm sorry," he said, his expression turning contrite. "Don't be sorry. I liked it," she smiled, her eyes gleaming with warmth. "By the way, how's your abdomen? Your mother mentioned something you ate yesterday is hurting you very badly?" he asked, genuine concern in his voice. Khadijah gently pushed him away, both of them laughing. "You know exactly what happened," she scolded, a mock sternness in her tone. "What about the pins? Have you taken them out?" he inquired, his brow furrowing with worry. "No, I was waiting for Kim to help me," she confessed, a flicker of fear crossing her face. Taking her hand, Ian led her toward the bed, his determination evident. "Come, let me take them out," he insisted gently. He seated her on the edge of the king-size bed, the plush fabric inviting and soft against her skin. As she stood to pull her dress up to her thighs, Ian couldn't help but admire the graceful curve of her figure. She then leaned back on her elbows, her gaze drifting to the ceiling as she took a deep breath. "Do it quickly," she requested, her voice a mix of apprehension and trust. After kneeling in front of her, Ian gently placed his hands on her thighs, his fingers brushing against the soft fabric of her dress as he began to push it further up. The air between them felt charged, a quiet tension humming beneath the surface, but just as he leaned in, she abruptly stopped him, her voice cutting through the moment like a sharp note. "Did you lock the door?" she asked, her tone laced with genuine concern, her dark eyes searching his for reassurance. "No, but I'll be quick," he replied, his voice low and steady, a hint of mischief tugging at the corners of his lips. But just as she had trusted him the night before to carefully place the pins, she trusted him now to remove them with the same precision. Her body relaxed slightly, and she raised her hips, allowing him to slide the dress further up. To his surprise, she wasn't wearing any underwear. The chrome pins glinted against her dark skin like precious jewels adorning something already breathtaking. To Ian, the sight before him was nothing short of exquisite, a masterpiece of curves and shadows illuminated by the soft light filtering through the room. He lowered himself toward her midsection, his breath warm against her skin, but she stopped him abruptly, her hand pressing firmly against his forehead. "No!" Khadijah exclaimed, her voice sharp enough to startle him out of his intentions. "You promised to be quick." Disappointed, but obedient, Ian refocused on the task at hand. His fingers found one of the chrome pins, cool and smooth against his touch. "Ready?" he asked, his voice softer now, almost apologetic. "Yes, go," she replied through clenched teeth, bracing herself. A sharp, stinging pain like the bite of a mosquito made her wince. Her thighs instinctively snapped shut around him before she caught herself and forced them open again, her breath hitching slightly. "Okay, ready again?" he asked, his tone cautious. "Yes," she whispered, her voice tight. This time he pinched the two remaining pins between his fingers and pulled them out simultaneously, the motion quick and precise. When he was done, she let out a small sigh of relief and began a careful self-inspection, her fingertips grazing the tender area. She winced slightly but managed a small smile. "It's a bit sore, but I guess I'll survive," she said, propping herself up on her elbows. Ian's gaze lingered on her, his frustration simmering just beneath the surface. "As soon as I get back to the condo, I'm going to tangle that orgasm device into oblivion," he grumbled, his eyes still fixed on her. "Unless you want to try it again," he added, a playful smirk tugging at his lips as he tried to gauge her reaction. Khadijah frowned at him, her expression a mix of amusement and exasperation. But before she could respond, Ian leaned in, his lips brushing against her abdomen in a soft, lingering kiss. "I'm sorry," he whispered, his breath warm against her skin as he trailed kisses lower, his intentions clear. Khadijah clamped her thighs around him again, this time sitting up abruptly and pushing her dress down. "No, you don't," she said firmly, though her eyes sparkled with mischief. "You'll make me wet, and then I'll have to shower and change all over again." Ian sighed. Disappointment etched across his face as he stood and took her extended hands, helping her to her feet. She smoothed her dress and hurried toward the wardrobe room, her movements quick and purposeful, while he followed at a slower pace, his eyes never leaving her. When she reached the built-in drawers, she opened one and rummaged through its contents, eventually pulling out a pair of white lace underwear. She bent down gracefully, sliding her feet into the delicate fabric before pulling it up and adjusting it beneath her dress. Turning to the mirror, she held the hem of her dress above her hips, her fingers deftly smoothing the lace into place. "Why are you watching me like that?" she teased, catching Ian's reflection in the mirror, her smile playful and knowing. Ian didn't respond, his gaze fixed on her figure as she twisted slightly, the lace stretching taut over her toned hips. She turned to face him, then glanced back at her reflection, admiring the curve of her body. "Are you a dirty old man?" she continued, her tone light and teasing. Ian simply smiled, his hands tucked into his pockets, utterly captivated by the sight of her. The contrast of her dark skin against the white lace was mesmerizing, the way the fabric clung to her curves almost too much to bear. But before he could say anything, Khadijah let her dress fall back into place, the moment slipping away. "Well, you're my dirty old man," she concluded, stepping forward to press a quick kiss to his cheek. He reached for her fast, his hands slipping out of his pockets, but with a 180-degree twirl, she was already spinning away, her movements fluid and deliberate. "You didn't know I had those football moves, huh?" She laughed, her voice carrying a note of triumph. Before she could slip out of reach, Ian caught her hand, his grip firm but gentle. "More guests are arriving now, so I've got to go. Will you come down soon?" she asked. "Yes, but I need to shower and change first," he said, pulling her back toward him one last time. "Don't forget, we have a date tonight," he whispered, his lips brushing against hers in a final lingering kiss.
Do you like this audiobook so far? Then share, and subscribe for more exciting episodes to come.